I'm sorry if that was too loud. I think there's a sudden shift in the volume. Yeah, so, welcome everyone. We are on week 9, prayers and meditations by the Mother, batch 5.
Monica, volume.
Okay, now is it okay?
Yeah, better.
Okay, okay, I'll take care. Thank you. Yeah, so the prayer that we have today, so this is the last week, just for all of us to know. And after this, we'll take just 1 week break and begin with the next batch. And whoever is interested, if you want to spread a word around to friends or inclined people, I had shared a PDF which has the detailed course structure. Yeah, so October 7, 1913. Beautiful prayer again, and I would just invite all of you one by one, whoever feels ready, please begin with the sharing and reflections.
I'll go, Marika.
Yes, please, Chitraji.
Yeah. Actually, October 7th, 1913. Yeah, this prayer again a beautiful prayer. This return after an absence of 3 months to the house, which is consecrated to thee, O Lord, has been the occasion of two experiences. Yes, beautiful experience, Mother explained. When I read this, no, because this is consecrated to the Lord, that house. So whoever lived in that house, like that actually, they will definitely feel it is a special place, especially, and spiritually too, it is a special place. Nobody would feel like leaving it, or they will feel that, miss that house. But here too, mother could express her feeling. This is a really very beautiful thing. Again, this lines, no, I am a stranger in a strange land, much more of a stranger here than in the open countryside among the trees. I don't know how mother could explain about that. She felt as a, even in that house, she felt as a stranger, and also explained herself under the, the ascetics only live like that, no, under the trees. They won't attach to any place. They will go from place to place, because to live in a detached manner, they will be like that. Even in Bhagavad Gita it is there, that Stita Pranya, no, he won't be in a place, and he won't have a house also. He will go, he will move. But mother never advocated that asceticism, of course. But here she explained like that actually. So it is very beautiful. And also, not to get any attachment, she's telling like that. I feel it is for us, maybe, because that possessive nature will be in humans. No, if it is a beautiful house, if it is really, I had an experience like that when I moved from Chennai to Bangalore. I really felt actually, oh my God, how many years I lived in this house? Why should I leave to another house? I felt miserable for some time. But now, when I'm reading this prayer, no, how mother is telling, even after that real consecration, she could feel that. She's not attached to that place. Yes. And also next para, also next few lines, you move that next para, no. Next one. Yeah, secondly, the whole atmosphere of the house is charged with a religious solemnity. One immediately goes into the depths. Yeah, here this is also very beautiful, because mother explained about that meditation, no, actually. She really explained about that meditation in the heart, and also in the next few lines she explained about the concentration above the head. Both both these things Shri Aurobindo and mother brought out actually in the integral yoga. It is a main thing actually, heart center concentration and the concentration above the head. She beautifully brought it here, really. That is also very nice. And also, I feel the whole prayer when I read this, she brought mainly three things actually. That feeling of detachment, wherever you live, wherever you go, you don't have the attachment. That is a big thing actually. And another thing, that about that meditation, concentration in the heart and the concentration above the head. These three things I feel the yogic path. She explained the whole yogic path in this prayers, because in the last ending also she revealed actually all is changed, all is new, the old wrappings have fallen off, and the newborn child half opens its eyes to the shining dawn. Yes, this is also another thing in the yogic path actually. Yeah, you have to born again and again as a newborn child, you have to become. So these four things, I feel this prayer explains totally that yogic path, really. So this is my take. And also in the previous thing, she explained she is a stranger, no? I can't, I mean, I can't help it saying this, because in Savitri, when Sri Aurobindo introduced Savitri in page number 6, these beautiful lines are there. Actually, I will read those lines. The same thing Sri Aurobindo brought out. Yeah, page number 6, it is there. And Savitri too awoke among these tribes that hastened to join the brilliant summoner's chant, and lured by the beauty of the apparent ways, acclaimed their portion of ephemeral joy, akin to the eternity when she came. No part she took in this small happiness, a mighty stranger in the human field. So Sherbindo, when directly introduced Savitri as an avatar, Sherbindo used this line only, a mighty stranger in the human field. And also few lines down actually, time's message of brief light was not for her. In her there was the anguish of the gods. Yeah, these are the beautiful Savitri lines which indicated that strangeness, because mother clearly explained in this prayer also, she doesn't belong to, I mean, any place. She has that mission. Of course, she explained it really very clearly. So this is my take in this prayer. Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much, yeah, Chitraji.
yeah,
Thank you for
uh,
bringing up those lines also, Savitri's
yeah.
lines.
It is really wonderfully same lines Shirbindo brought. No,
Mm.
actually, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Monica, I just want to suggest, should we read the first prayer and then share discussions, because we have not
Yes,
read the whole thing.
beautiful. Yes, yes. You want to read, Luba?
No, I mean, not necessary, but because we have not, I have not read it even. So
Okay, okay. So why don't you read it and then the next person can share their reflections?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, October 7th, 1913. This return after an absence of 3 months to the house, which is concentrated to thee, O Lord, has been the occasion of two experiences. The first is that in my outer being, my surface consciousness, I no longer have the least feeling of being in my own home and the owner of anything there. I am a stranger in a strange land, much more of a stranger here than in the open countryside among the trees. And I smiled. Now that I have learned what I did not know, I smile at the idea of having felt myself mistress of the house, an idea I had before my departure. It was necessary for all pride to be broken, crushed, trampled down, definitely, so that I could at least understand, see, and feel things as they are. I used to offer to thee these dwellings, O Lord, as though it were possible that I should possess something and consequently be able to make an offering of it to thee. All is thine, O Lord. It is thou who placest all things at our disposal. But how blind we are when we imagine that we can be owners of any one of this. I am a visitor here as elsewhere, thy messenger and thy servant upon us, a stranger among men, and yet the very soul of their life, the love of their heart. Secondly, the whole atmosphere of the house is charged with a religious solemnity. One immediately goes down into the depths. The meditations here are more ingathered and serious. Dispersion vanishes to give place to concentration. And I feel this concentration literally descending from my head and entering into my heart. And the heart seems to attain a deep, more profound than the head. It is as though for 3 months I have been loving with my head, and that now I'm beginning to love with my heart. And this brings me an incomparable solemnity and sweetness of feelings. A new door has opened in my being, and immensity has appeared before me. I cross the threshold with devotion, feeling hardly worthy yet of entering upon this hidden path, veiled to the side, as though invisibly luminous within. All is changed, all is new. The old wrappings have fallen off, and the newborn child half opens its eyes to the shining door.
Thank you, Luca.
As anyone knows which house mother was shifting and where she was absent? I mean, from the
I think
her
Jishnu ji would
biography,
know. Yeah, Jishnu ji.
No,
biography point.
I was searching as well. I was searching, but I know that she was in Paris that time. She didn't leave. So most probably she must have gone somewhere. But that time she was in Paris.
Jishnu, which house she was meaning that it is consecrated to the Lord? Her house in Paris, right? That's what
Yeah,
she
yeah,
meant.
uh, her house. And I was seeing that whether she moved away from, but I saw that only in March. This is in October. So March of 6th March, she left towards Pondicherry. 6th
Mm.
March 1914, she started her journey towards Pondi, and 29th March, she met Sri Aurobindo.
So she
But
must be went
1900,
somewhere and
yeah,
traveled.
she
So
must have gone
stranger,
somewhere. Yeah,
stranger in strange land.
unless she was in some other house in Paris, she was visiting some place. But because 1913, she was very much in Paris. March, she made Baha'u'llah, I saw, March to May. But nothing I could find. In fact, when I was reading, I was also thinking that where did she go? But she was in France that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, Jishnu ji, you want to go ahead and share the
Yes.
reflections?
So,
Yeah.
so reflections, as Chitradi has covered, Luba read, and so my reflections here will be brief. And what I three three aspects which struck me very beautiful. His mother is saying about, she spoke about herself so candidly here that she is saying, so there must be, I mean, as it was said, and mother has written that there must be an house which she felt in her mind that she is concentrating to the divine. And after 3 months that she came back, she felt that it is utter foolishness to consecrate, because everything is given, offered by the divine to us, and we in turn are using them. It is not something that it belongs to us, and we are offering back to divine in turn. Um, it is, as we all know, different levels of seeing. So mother is seeing these things from a different level right now that she felt. And the second thing is she also felt that I'm sure she must have felt, because that she is the mistress of the house. This house belongs to her, or she is managing the affairs of that place. But after 3 months, when she comes back, she feels that the house is there as it is, and she feels a stranger there. There must be, as Chitradi said, that she must have felt very accustomed to the place. We grow accustomed to the place. She must have felt that she is very accustomed to the place. Yet after coming back, she feels that I feel more stranger here than stranger out there in the forest or out there in open air. So it's just what I feel is that she's speaking from different levels of consciousness, where she feels that everything is offered by the divine, everything is offered to us by the divine, and we take a partial view of things, which complicates the matter. That would be the first or the first thing that came to my mind. And second interesting thing is, once again, which I felt is towards the end of the prayer, that she said, which I never thought, that I feel, yes, and I feel this concentration literally descending from my head and entering into my heart. And the heart seems to attain a depth more profound than head. It is as though for 3 months I had been loving with my head, and now I were beginning to love with my heart. And this brings me an incomparable solemnity and sweetness of the feeling. I never thought that she had this concept of, or she had ever experienced this concept of loving from the head, because I always felt that she straight went to the heart. But this prayer shows that even she felt like that for herself, that she is intellectually loving the divine, or having the experience from the head. Whereas when she descended, or the level of consciousness descended to the heart, she feels that immense sweetness, that immense depth, which one feels when is operating from the heart center or heart consciousness. That is another thing which is a new revelation for me. I did not paid attention to it or did not know about it earlier. And the third is very beautiful, which she says, a new door has opened in my being, and an immensity has appeared before me. Mother at various places has said that it's like curtains. Like we are unable to see a thing because we there are curtains in front of our eyes, or curtains, veils in our consciousness, which when it gets lifted, we start seeing the things. Sri Ramakrishna said to speak to his disciples, he is saying, "See, this is a towel. I cannot see you because of the towel. Now, once I remove the cloth, I can see you. It was you are always there, but I am unable to see you." It's the same thing which happens to all of us at different levels when we cross different levels in inner quest. And the mother is also expressing here that a new door has opened. The things beyond the door were always there, but like a new door has opened in my being, and an immensity has appeared before me. I crossed the threshold with devotion, feeling hardly worthy, yet of entering upon this hidden path, veiled to the sight and as though invisibly luminous within. And look at her humility. She's saying, even though by that time she was aware that the divine is there, she has contacted her psychic being. She's so, with great humility, she is saying, I crossed the threshold with devotion, feeling hardly worthy. We always feel we are entitled. We always feel we are doing such a thing. It should happen to us. We are entitled. We always feel worthy. And look at her. She is saying, hardly worthy, yet of entering upon this hidden path, veiled to the sight and as though invisibly luminous within. It's a very, I would say that great poetic expression. She, I mean, at times we just stop. I mean, when we have an experience, when we have anything to see, we are unable to express. But how beautifully, how deeply she has expressed the entire experience. All is changed, all is new. The old wrappings have fallen off, and the newborn child half opens its eyes to the shining dawn. So it's like a newborn, the Dvija, that is the second born, that the new person has born, and the old wrappings have fallen off. When you cross the consciousness from one level to another, even in, I often read even this Alice in Wonderland, there is a quote like, I wanted it yesterday, but I was a different person. So it's the same here. Mother is saying that as one crosses the door, it's a new birth and a new person, and looking at the world with a new viewpoint. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Jishnuji. Thank you so much.
Luba,
Yeah,
Monica,
yeah.
Yeah, I
in
would.
reference to what Luba said,
Mm-hmm.
after a break of nearly 2 to 3 months, she returned to her house in Rue du Val de Grace
Okay.
in Paris,
Okay.
in France rather.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, she writes this. That
Okay.
was the house she came to.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. That I would like to also
Yeah.
share something
Please.
about what Jishnu said about this newborn. In yoga, it's considered to be a second birth when people are taking yoga, and mother used to say, take a new birth, and it's like a second birth in one life for new consciousness or for deeper consciousness. So it's very beautiful that mother is newborn child and all this. Also, very interesting to notice that is if you go a little above that, I think second paragraph. Secondly, yeah, she's saying that the whole atmosphere of the house is charged with religious solemnity. One immediately goes into the depths. The meditation here are more ingathered and serious. Dispersion vanishes to give place to concentration. And I feel this concentration literally descending from my head and entering into my heart. So it's a very, I mean, it's very right when I think many of us experience that when you enter samadhi, when your mind is scattered and I mean, you're in the surface consciousness, when you enter samadhi, you feel how suddenly the needle shifts and you go and you become suddenly very concentrated, you gathered. And that's what mother describes, that in that atmosphere of the house, because she was meditating there and creating the atmosphere, so it charged with that spiritual atmosphere. And once I came to Ramana Maharshi ashram, and I remember how it was a traveling and all that traveling experience. And the moment I entered the compound and I came to a place where Ramana Maharshi used to stay, his bed over there. So I felt the power of that place. Immediately you are pushed within and you immediately become very concentrated, and automatically you are in a kind of concentrating, meditating mood. And how those places are helping us to shift our consciousness from surface to deeper parts, or just be concentrated on one aspiration or wherever that your consciousness goes. And it's very beautiful what she said here. Also, we can create this at home when we meditate. We we can create atmosphere which is supportive of spiritual vibration. So that is very important for us. So that place would be only dedicated in the house for meditation or concentration or prayers, contemplation, and so that will be charged. And of course, um, Shabinda and the mother, they're always saying that you have to create your own atmosphere. So disciples were complaining and saying that there is so much attacks from outside, so much disturbance. And mother and Shabinda, they were saying that you have to create your own atmosphere so nothing can enter there, and create your inner temple. So in that atmosphere, you will be protected from everything which is trying to destroy it. That's all I wanted
Yeah,
to
thank
share.
you so much. Yeah, thank you very much. I remember this anecdote that you shared when somebody came to, I think, mother, and I almost complained that I want to meditate and there is so much of noise and I am not able to meditate. And I think one remark that she made, that me and Shri Aurobindo and mother, they are waking, it's, they call it waking meditation, that you cannot be but meditative throughout the day, and by creating your own inner atmosphere, not mattering where you are, whether there is noise outside or whether the situations are more comfortable for meditation. Yeah.
No, it is true. If you go to the ashram, if you see what is the atelier right now, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the atelier means workshop in French, which is atelier on the left side. Earlier, the atelier was where mother's garage used to be. And so those people, like, like this mechanics, they used to work with iron hammer and other things. So my grandmom used to say that there used to be sound, but mother never used to get disturbed. And in this, I should share another anecdote. Taradi said that when they were young, they used to wait near the Shurgundo's room to meet mother. And they said we used to talk among ourselves, laugh or giggle. So one sadhak who used to stay there, I think he used to sleep in the afternoon or something. So he came out and he told, Shurbind is resting there, he will get disturbed. And then mother came out and said, it is not Shurbind, but you are getting disturbed.
Yeah, beautiful. Amazing. I think that another thing connecting here is that one, where there is this storm coming and mother comes and she wants to check whether everything is okay at Sri Aurobindo's room. Windows are closed and everything is okay. And she comes in the room and she sees that although the windows are open, but no, nothing has touched. The storm has not touched. His peace was so spreading, throughout the room, that nothing flew from here to there, although the windows were open. So really very powerful. Yeah, Jyotsna ji, please, you wanted to share.
What struck me in this prayer the most was mother's utmost humility in stating that she sort of identified like an ordinary human being, where she says that something belonged to her, and what she thought belonged to her, and she realized when she came back after 3 months that nothing belongs to you. And that was the first sort of vivid change that she felt. And that things were just nothing was hers, so she could not offer anything to the divine because she couldn't own anything, and which she always wanted to do, like we all want to do. And I could identify with it. I mean, I could resonate with it, because every human being wants to be master or mistress of something or many things. And mother humbly showed it to us that no, nothing is yours, and don't think that way. Second was that she says that when she comes into the house and she feels the inner pull in the heart zone, going from the head to the heart and staying there. And the way she explained it, it is like it was a second integration for her, where she went in so deep that it was like, then she describes later that the clothes shedding. So I really learned two lessons that from this, and resonated with it so strongly, something that I cannot put in words very well. But our thinking does get affected when we read this prayer, definitely.
Yeah, thank you, Ruth. Yeah, who wants to go next? I think Shweta and Swapna are left. So, anyone? Shweta, Swapna, whoever feels ready.
I'm just listening actually. It's
Okay.
also beautiful, yeah. Just observing.
Okay. So, if you have anything, Shweta, in case later, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, Swapna, would you like to share? Yeah.
I feel like everyone's covered what I was thinking as well. So thanks.
Swapna, your voice is not really audible. I couldn't get what you were saying.
I was just saying everyone shared my thoughts, so not right now. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. So come up again in case you have anything to share. Okay. So I don't know. Okay. let us go through it again and see if there is anything that comes up. I think already everything has been really beautifully elaborated by all of you. But let's see. So this return after an absence of 3 months. So uh, she has been out, as you were sharing, for 3 months and comes back to this house in France. Has been a house which has been consecrated to thee. Already, she says that it is a consecrated house, it belongs to you, has been the occasion of two experiences. So one can also see that there is no end to revelations. There is no end to them. Sri Aurobindo says that this journey is one light after a greater light, and one illumination, then a greater illumination, one revelation, a greater revelation. So we have this tendency of whatever experience we may be having at the moment, we think that that is the absolute, that is it, we have got it. But here she's, as you were sharing about the humility of the mother, that one experience to the other experience, one birth to a new birth, continuous, revelations after revelations. So very observant, she sees that it is an occasion of two experiences. The first is that even in my outer being, usually when we talk about the outer being, we talk about darkness and shadows, that it is kind of drenched wet in darkness, the outer being, the surface consciousness. Even there, mother says, I no longer have the least feeling of being in my own home. Yeah, and I think this stranger aspect has already been touched upon by Chitra ji. What I want to touch upon is this, that this idea, she says that I had this idea before that I am the mistress of the house. So earlier in her surface consciousness, or the inner being knew that this house is consecrated to the divine. But there was, she very with humility, she shares that an idea I had before my departure. This idea was there in the head, maybe lurking here and there, that I am the mistress of this house. And then she says that it was very necessary for all pride to be broken. So only when something gets shattered, then only we get to know that, oh my God, I was harboring this idea. So really, these shatterings that we go through, these breakings that we go through, they are so beautiful that in one occasion we may feel that everything is sorted. I am feeling okay, everything is consecrated to the divine. What is wrong with my life? Nothing more to be done. And then we see that, oh my God, something shattered. Now the moment that something gets shattered, I get to know that there was some idea that was there in the surface consciousness. And it's only after the breaking, many a times, most of the times, that we get to know that we were harboring such an idea. It was necessary for all pride to be broken, crushed, trampled down definitively, so that I could at last understand, see, and feel things as they are. Just the isness of things, not attaching them to our sense of self. I used to offer to thee this dwelling, O Lord. So, Mother is sharing that This is something which I used to do. It's not something that has been that I'm seeing from for the first time, as though it were possible that I should possess something. So this is a beautiful revelation. I think some of you touched upon it, that is it possible for me to possess anything? Such one can really laugh about it. This reminded me of that story that I was sharing the other day from the Upanishads, where the gods have won the victory over the asuras, and they are very full of pride and arrogance, celebrating the victory. And divine, or the Brahma, in the form of Yaksha, he comes and he says that I want to be a part of the party also. And the caretaker does not let him enter. He says that no, this party is for the gods, because gods have won the victory. So he says, okay, really, gods have won the victory? Tell me, show me who are those gods. So one by one, Agni Dev comes, then the Vayu Dev comes, and he tests them all. He says that if you really have won the victory, then try to burn with, when he talks to Agni Dev, that try to burn this little stick that is lying in front of you. And the Agni Dev, with his whole intensity, he tries really hard, and nothing happens to that stick. Nothing at all. Then Vayudev comes. He again tries to blow away the stick. Nothing happens. So it was just this attempt from the divine to tell them that you are nothing. What we think that my intelligence, my devotion, many a times even on the spiritual path, one can unknowingly, not that we are knowingly harboring these things, unknowingly, that look at my devotion, look at my intelligence, look at my sharpness, look at my humility, all this just lurks within and we are not aware. So it's beautiful that we are given those experiences which break all our walls that we keep on building around ourselves, because there is no power except for the divine power. So how can we possess anything? That intelligence that speaks through us is of the divine. This material that we are made of is of the divine. So what is there that we can call ours? We are also not belonging to our own self. We belong to the divine. So this is really so powerful. When mother shares that it was necessary, all that breaking was necessary for the pride to be broken. Yeah, and all of us go through such experiences, knowingly, unknowingly. We don't know how they happen, but they happen. Something becomes as if we attach a sense of self with whatever experience that we go through. Maybe a spiritual experience gets attached to the sense of self. We feel that we are more with that spiritual experience. It may be a trance or samadhi or any experience that we go through. We may just attach it to our sense of self. We don't get to know about it. So it's really so powerful. I found it so powerful, this breaking and shattering, that it's a true devotee, a true child of the divine would say that, I am open to all the shatterings that you want to give me, the divine. Because it is through those shatterings that I get to know what all I keep on adding on as a sense of self to myself. We are not aware truly of these things. Yeah. So this is beautiful, as though it were possible that I should possess something and consequently be able to make an offering of it to thee. And yet we know the power of offering. Mother shares that, yes, all I am omnipresent, I know everything, and yet you have to offer it to me. Because then it is not for me to know, it is for you to become conscious of it. So there is a power in remembering and offering also. I cannot say that mother knows everything. What is the need for me to tell it to the mother? So it's beautiful that yes, mother shares there is a need to tell it to me, or to offer your tendency or whatever you are dealing with to me, and that is not for me, but is for you to become conscious that it is still there. All is thine, O Lord. It is thou who placest all things at our disposal. But how blind we are when we imagine that we can be owners of any of these. So, this is utter blindness, what we call as ignorance. When we think of anything, any even movement to be belonging to ourselves, movement of guilt, movement of shame, movement of our shadows. Even those are not belonging to us. Movement of desires, movement of ambitions, even very happy movements. All the movements belong to the divine. So it brings a great lightness upon the being if I can be aware that not even my happiness belongs to me. What a relief! What a true relief. So, whenever we are really having contented, good times, can we silently also offer them just like we offer our shadows to the divine? We keep on offering our pain and suffering to the divine. Can we also remember, I'm sure we all do, but just, kind of reiterating for myself that Kabir says, at this point, I remember him, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे का होए. So he talks about remembrance in the good times, because good times also belong to the divine. Because many a times we may just want to possess the good times, let it not go away, let it not go away. But even since everything is fleeting and ephemeral, why do I need to possess anything, even the good times, when I have the feet of the Lord with me? Yeah. How blind we are when we imagine that we can be owners of anything of these. So, not only the gross material, but also the movements, the inner subtle movements within. I am a visitor here as elsewhere, as everywhere, thy messenger and thy servant upon earth. I think something which Chitraji touched upon through Savitri. A stranger among men, and yet the very soul of their life, the love of their heart. So, as human beings, we want to possess earthly matter. We want to possess name, fame, all that comes along with it. But, mother, what is the need for her to possess anything? She's full, complete, divine in herself. And yet she shares that yet, although I am a stranger, yet I am the soul of their life. Without me, everything is empty, hollow. The love of their heart. It is me who they seek, who the human beings seek. The love, the contentedness, the inner joy. This is what we seek. Secondly, the whole atmosphere of the house is charged with a religious solemnity. I think Luba already shared the importance of this, creating an atmosphere for our own self. No matter whether physically, if we can do it in our house, beautiful. If not, can we carry a mobile atmosphere, as she was sharing, that this inner temple is a sacred place or atmosphere that you carry everywhere you go. Anywhere you go, there is this intensity, this sincerity, this deep depths that you touch within yourself. They also go mobile, it's like a mobile temple that you carry within yourself. One immediately goes down into the depths. The meditations here are more ingathered and serious. I think you were touching upon this aspect of this when the Ramana Maharishi's ashram, and it's really beautiful how charged these places become owing to who are the people who have been there. And it really makes a difference if we can be receptive and let that atmosphere touch our depths and make us also ingathered. I feel this concentration literally descending from my head. So it starts from the head, she says, enters, pierces, enters into my heart, and the heart seems to attain a depth more profound than the head. And I think this aspect you already covered, that how she, with utter humility, she realizes that as if I've been just loving with the head. And I think it's so beautiful that unless we have a deeper revelation through our own experiences, we think that the previous revelation is really absolute. But then we know the more we grow into these experiences, we see that there is no end to these depths. There is no end to these revelations. So she shares one of this revelation, that as if earlier I have been loving with the head, And now, as if I was beginning to love with my heart. And this loving with the heart, what Kabir in his words would say, Ram Ras, the nectar of the divine, the nectar of uh, being ingathered, one with your depths, and touching the divine nectar, tasting it continuously. This brings me an incomparable solemnity and sweetness of feeling. So, this sweetness is something I think we were touching upon in some other, I think Friday study we discussed the sweetness of this nectar or the sweet feeling. A new door has opened in my being and an immensity has appeared before me. So, again, a beautiful paradox. How can immensity lie before a door? You know, like the door has opened and there is a new world altogether. I think Jishnuji was touching upon Alice in Wonderland also. As if a new window opens and beautiful immensity opens, and again some new window will open, and again, because there is no end to this expression of the divine, since the divine is infinite. A new door has opened in my being and an immensity has appeared before me. Yeah, and I think here again Jishnuji touched beautifully this. I cross the threshold as if whenever we go into a mandir, temples, there are doors after doors in temples. And every door, you touch your head, touch the sand from the place, ground from the place, you touch it on your head, then you cross that door. So with this great sincerity that mother says that feeling hardly worthy, how come I'm here? Am I really worthy of being here? And if mother is saying this, it's beautiful, really. Feeling hardly worthy, yet of entering upon this hidden path, veiled to the sight, and as though invisibly luminous within. So, although the immensity of this hidden path is veiled, yet there is a luminosity which is visible, which one can feel and touch this luminosity. Yeah. All is changed, all is new. The old wrappings have fallen off, and the newborn child half opens its eyes to the shining dawn. I think this new birth, which Luba also was sharing, that whenever people got initiated into a new spiritual path, they were often given even a new name. Many, like Judith Tyberg became Jyoti Priya, and Richard became Narad, and many other uh, other people also. So it's, I would say that yes, it is an initiation into a new path, and also that we are born, even if not any guru has initiated me and changed my name. I think we have this capacity of being newborn to every moment, every day. Even if we look at physically at our own body, cells are dying and renewing themselves every moment. On the whole, our physical body may appear very solid and as if something is not changing. But even if we go into the depths of the matter physically, through physics, look at the electrons, protons, neutrons, we see that it's an ever changing being that we are. It's only living in the ego consciousness, thinking about me, my past spiritual experiences, or my earthly experiences, that we think that there is a continuity and there is this solid mass uh, of this personality being there. So can we? I think this would be so beautiful if we can consider ourselves a new being. What I think Jishnuji was sharing through the Alice's example, that what I was yesterday, I'm not right now. Can we look at those eyes like the eyes of an infant, or how freshly he looks at every experience of his life, especially in the early years, that looking at an insect very very carefully as if for the first time, touching the water as if for the first time, experiencing it fully, not saying that I know. I think that would be really a beautiful journey to make us more childlike. And mother says that It's through this childlike trust and childlike faith in the divine one can go best on this path, even the spiritual path. And even, people who are not really using the word divine, but who have this childlike tendency in them, this fresh demeanor every moment, not brooding about the past, not thinking of the past and future again and again. I think there is a freshness and aliveness about them which keeps them young at heart and helps them relate to the community also in a beautiful way. Yeah. Yeah, so I think I have this much uh, this to share.
Yeah, Monica ji, anyway, I know that you conduct one session on Tagore, I think
Yeah,
Mondays, but I
yeah.
wanted to read one short poem of Tagore.
Please do, please do.
It is related to this, like the new birth, and I will also share the background. First of all, it is not a good translation. I don't think he himself translated this. So he wrote about this in Bengali. It's called Nijhore Shopnam Bhango, the broken dream. Which, and he said that time he said that I was not feeling well. He said as if everything was very dull, and suddenly he was visiting his cousin brother's house. It's in Calcutta, and he said that day when I woke up, I saw the world with a new light, as if a curtain, and exactly this is the term he used, as if a curtain has gone over above my eyes, and I could see everything with a new light. And then he wrote one of his, it's a very short poem, but it's one of his very famous poems. When this was discussed with Sri Aurobindo, Sri Aurobindo said this is a vital experience. He did not, Sri Aurobindo did not speak that this is a spiritual experience or something. He said probably this is a vital experience expressed lyrically very beautifully. So that also we should be aware. And if we would be surprised, then when somebody asked Sri Aurobindo that what is a spiritual poem that Tagore wrote, among others. So there is a poem by Tagore called Urvashi, and it says, you are not the mother, you are not the daughter, you are not the wife, you are the eternal woman. It's a ode to Urvashi, and Sri Aurobindo said this poem contains the spiritual truth, and it has nothing of the what we so-called spiritual or devotion, nothing of that. But Sri Aurobindo said that this poem has the eternal truth captured. So this is the poem of Tagore which I wanted to read.
Yeah.
The broken dream of a stream. How did the sun rays penetrate my heart this morning? How did the song of the bird penetrate the dark cave? I don't know how my heart awakened after such a long time. Heart is awake, the water is swelling up. I cannot stop my heart's wish and emotion. The mountains are trembling, hailstones are sliding down. The water is beating up into froth, it is thundering in anger. Here and there, almost mad, it is turning and roaming around. It wants to come out, cannot find the prison door. Why the Creator is so cruel? Why is there a trap all around? Break the heart, break the tie, have the desire today. Lift the layers of waves, continue striking it. When the heart is excited, what is dark, what is cruel? When the yearning is increasing, why fear the world? I will pour compassion. I will break the cruel prison. I will sing all around the world, anxious crazy water. I will untie my hair, pick up flowers, fly my rainbow painted fan. I will spread laughter on rays of the sun. I will run from peak to peak. I will conquer hill after hill. I will giggle and sing rhythmically. I have so much to say, so much to sing, so much vitality, so much happiness, so much desire. I know not what happened. My heart is awake. From the distance, I can hear the song of the ocean. All around me, what is this frightful prison? Break, break, break the prison. Strike it, strike it. Oh, what a song the bird sang. Here comes the rays of sun.
Thank you so much, Jishnu sir. Do you also know this poem in Bengali?
Yeah, I know, but I have to search it. Of course, I have
Okay.
read it.
Okay.
My memory is not so good. Yeah.
But you know Bengali, right?
Yeah, of course I know Bengali.
Okay. Okay. So it would be nice someday you can sing or read out
Yeah,
in Bengali also for us.
I can read. It's much more beautiful in Bengali.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be nice. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone? Any further reflections?
So,
Yeah. Yes, Shweta.
yeah, so I needed to understand better the first line and then relating it. So I feel, according to me, that is like head and heart. Like first, in the first line, Mother says about the house which is consecrated to thee. Okay, and so this house which is consecrated to thee, and where further, she writes about how one minute, I'll just go through that. I smile at the idea of having felt myself mistress of the house, an idea I had before my departure. It was necessary for all pride to be broken. Now, if this house was consecrated to thee, and then later when she says, secondly, the whole atmosphere of the house is charged with religious solemnity. So, I just wanted to understand how are these two experiences, like what I am understanding is, earlier it was from the head and then it was from the heart, because the house had been house was the same, consecrated to thee, and later on also the house is charged with all that. So can someone just explain that to me?
Yeah. Anyone who wants to share on this? Yeah. I think in absence of anyone sharing, Shweta, I think what you were just sharing by yourself also, that, for example, whenever we, even on the path of surrender, when I say that, okay, I'm surrendered to the mother, I'm surrendered to the mother, it starts with the head. So it starts through the ideas, or what mother has shared, that earlier I was loving with the head. I think you already connected the dots beautifully, that in my heart, in my head, although everything was consecrated to thee, although I'm sure this is much more than what I'm saying, and yet mother says that, often we are not even aware, we have this sense of doership. I think that is what mother is sharing here, that I smile at this idea of having felt myself the mistress of this house. So although uh, intellectually, even deeply, there is this knowing that everything belongs to the divine, and how can this belong to me? Obviously, I'm nothing, I'm nothing. But still, there are many, many places at which something or the other sticks to us. Some sense of doership sticks to us. I think that is what mother is sharing here, that it's beautiful to go through that pride to be broken. Mother shares that it was good to have that shattering happen, because otherwise I would not be aware that it was only the idea of the head, this loving the divine or consecration to the divine, but it was much, much, it had to be much, much deeper. So I see it this way, that whenever we are talking of even surrendering on the path of surrendering to the divine, surrendering to the divine, we may say that is one thing, and it is good to say, because uh, we start with the mental understanding, we start with the intellectual giving of ourselves, and then slowly, 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 deeper layers open up, and we realize that, oh my God, this part, I really was not truly surrendered. It was not a true surrender, and it's only through our experiences that we realize that it was not a true surrender. When anything happens and we get shattered and broken, that, oh my God, I thought I was really surrendered to the divine, but if I truly was surrendered, then why would this ego movement be there? Why would I still want to have this title of being the mistress? So slowly, through our experiences, all these deeper layers are also kind of, I would say, they shatter, and give way to the heart being open and a deeper consecration, a deeper surrender. And I would say, again, I would be maybe wrong, but I feel that there is no depth to surrender. There is like, it can be just ever increasing, ever deepening surrender. So I would really not be able to say that, oh, my surrender is complete, because one never knows in the next day what comes up, and shatters you, and then you realize that no, surrender was not complete. Yeah. So yeah, that is how I see it. If people have reflection, please share.
Thank you, Monica.
Monica ji, this you surrender, what you said, it reminded me of mother's quote, where she said, "It is he who is sincere knows that he is not fully sincere."
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Resonates very
because
well.
because there is no end of
There
sincerity.
is no end to
Right,
sincerity.
just like there is no end of surrender. I mean, we
Beautiful.
all know that about the great saints, including Mother Shobinda. I mean, what they have spoken,
Yeah.
Mirabai and others.
Yeah.
Just like there is no end of surrender, there is no end of sincerity. And then
Beautiful.
Mother said that one who is truly sincere, I think one who is truly sincere, I have to exactly find out, knows that he is not fully sincere.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Thank you for bringing this up. I think completely in alignment with this thing. I think again refers to what, for example, mother would say that if you can't use the word divine, you use the word perfection. And whenever we talk of perfection, even perfection in surrender, for example, we see that, oh my God, there is always, always, always a scope of improvement. So how can one say that, okay, today I'm everything is surrendered and I'm fully there? So there is never fully there, since the divine is infinite. There is always a possibility of much depth, much height, and much sincerity. Yeah, beautiful. So I feel that it's so beautiful, this path of surrender or anything, that we can never be unemployed. We always have employment, because there is always a scope for more, always a scope for more. Yeah, so any last comments, anyone? Okay, great. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for sharing comments, reflections, anecdotes, everything. Thank you.
Thank
There'll
you.
be a week's gap,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah,
Thank
a
you.
week's gap. Yeah.
And
Thank
we'll
you,
start.
Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Yeah.
Bye.